So our first project is going to be a professional bio. I'm sure many of you have at least read many professional bios and maybe have written one or two professional bios, but they are very common genre of writing in professional circles where through writing, a professional like yourself can present themselves to the public and can even create or construct a professional identity by doing so. For this project, we are going to write two versions of a professional bio. We're going to use the material that we have kind of named and organized through our skills analysis work, and we are going to write two versions of this professional bio. One is going to be a longer version, one's going to be a shorter version, yet they're both relatively short since we can't expect our reader to sit and read a novel when they are scanning through different websites or different sources of information. And so there are many different ways that you can write a professional bio. There's a lot of examples in our module that I invite you to study and read over and see what, that appeals the best to you. Some can be written in first person. That is just starting to get a little more common. Most are written in third person. And so that is what we are going to be writing our professional bio in, third person. And so the whole purpose is to practice, is to name these skills and to share them with an audience. And so back up here, be sure to read all of this, but I want to highlight this point. A professional bio is not simply writing out your resume. A resume includes all of the details, all of the, work experience and skills and abilities and logistical things that you are presenting to an audience, some reader. A professional bio is different in that it emphasizes the skills and the abilities. And so you're not simply writing out your resume, you are focusing on what are you able to do? What skills do you bring to the table? Why would somebody want to work with you? And that kind of content. And so read the readings for this week. But for these bios, the deliverable, you come down here. There's going to be a long one that's going to be between 200 and 300 words. Now, I'm going to be picky on this because there are so many platforms now that have word requirements and word limits. For instance, if somebody tried to submit a bio that was 302 words, it would be rejected simply because of the platform. And so I'm going to be picky and encourage you to, if it's a little bit longer, work on editing it down. Edit out any extra words, any extra phrases. There's going to be a brief bio also, which is going to take the most important content from that longer version and between 500 or 50 and 100 words, just do a little blurb on who you are. Both of these bios will eventually be submitted in the same document for this project. And so, again, this is skill-based. A professional bio always focuses on the skills. However, it's also going to bring evidence of those skills. So what can you do? What are you able to do? What are some of your skills and abilities? Followed by that evidence of where you developed those skills, where you demonstrated them, where you were acknowledged for them. So you're going to bring in, mention education, professional work experience, some of your achievements, awards, and those kind of things. And then eventually you can also bring in things that are less important. So a bio starts off with the most important things, the most relevant things that you want to emphasize first early on. And then as it goes, it brings up some more, human interest aspects of who you are. Like, are you multilingual? Do you have really interesting hobbies and situations that you want to share so that your audience can see that you're a well-rounded person with complex interests and abilities and that stuff. So you will arrange them, read over this, you arrange them on both the same document. Down here in format requirements, this is important. Read these over bit by bit. So it's going to be 12 to 11 point Times New Roman font. Put your name on the top of the paper centered. Include a professional looking photo of yourself. So it doesn't have to be a professional photo, but it has to be a photo that depicts you in a professional light. So it's not going to be a photo of you partying with your friends on the weekend. Format the bio as in professional block paragraphs. That means they're going to be single spaced, no paragraph indentation, and double spacing between the paragraphs. If your Word document or Word program is already set to a default extra space between paragraphs, that's great. Don't double space that, but it does have to be a double space. So break it down into meaningful paragraphs. This isn't going to be one long stream of consciousness writing. Indicate the date that it was composed at the end. That's a very important and common characteristic of a professional bio. And then again, submit them all on the same page. Be sure to look at the submission page for the rubric so that you know what I'm going to be grading, but this is basically it. Let me know if you have any questions.